Welcome to SKN Football Weekly. I'm Andre Huey. This is the football show where we feature the teams in the National Bank Premier League. We look at the games that played the previous week and the games coming up for this weekend. But we're doing it especially differently this week. We're going to be looking at, yes, we reviewed the games from last week, but we'll also take some time out to speak with a representative of the St. Kitts Nevis Football Association to talk about a number of things, including the appointment of a new technical director, and looking back at some of the big exploits that would have happened by the SKNFA recently. And the person to do that is Mr. Stanley Jacobs. He's the General Secretary of the SKNFA. Mr. Jacobs, welcome to SKN Football Weekly, your first show. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. It's a pleasure to be here. Of course, I said it's my first show, so I intend to be coming back a lot more in the future. Mm-hmm. I must say that we at the St. Kitts Nevis Football Association, we are extremely pleased with the production of the Football Weekly show. It has been getting good reviews on social media, and so it's something that we're extremely pleased to have been able to launch this initiative.
Yes, definitely. Well, let's talk quickly. The big story of the day is the appointment of the new technical director, who is Jeffrey Pedro Hazel. Everybody knows Pedro. Talk to us about this appointment and why the SKNFA decided to go this direction.
Right. Well, as first and foremost, as most persons would be aware now, that Mr. Lenny Lake was been the technical director of St. Kitts and Nevis football for quite some time. I would say at least for the last maybe 8 years, has left the position to take up a position with FIFA, and so I want to take this opportunity to extend best wishes to Mr. Lenny Lake in his future endeavors. We're happy for Mr. Lake because he came into the Football Association as one of the very first homegrown technical directors in the region, and he has grown a lot in the position, and FIFA has recognized the expertise in him, and so we are happy for him, and he has gone to work with FIFA, and so I think at the end of the day it holds well for St. Kitts and Nevis to have one of our citizens working at the highest level of football, and so congratulations to Mr. Lenny Lake. Of course, that opened the position for a new technical director to join, and we conducted the normal interview process, and we're happy to say that Mr. Jeffrey Hazel was head and shoulders above the other persons that were interviewed for the position. Mr. Hazel is no stranger to football in St. Kitts and Nevis. He has been coach at the club level, coach at the U23 level, and the senior men's coach for quite a number of years. So he brings that level of coaching experience as an administrator and a manager of the game. He has been previously the director of sports and also an assistant high-level official in the Department of Sports and the Ministry of Sports. So Mr. Hazel comes with a wide range of experience, not just in coaching, because technical director position is far more than coaching. It's all about development of the game on the national level. And so Mr. Hazel brings with him that level of experience, having worked within the public sector for a number of years, as a matter of fact, as a school teacher, and then joining the Ministry of Sports in the Department of Sports as a sports administrator. So a lot of experience, and so we're quite pleased with Mr. Hazel now coming on board, and we look forward to continuing the football development.
Right, which means, of course, he has to depart his coaching position with the Ramsey Superstars. He was selected the coach of the year as well.
Of course,
in the Crystal Awards.
It might be fitting because then he won his first championship in the SKNFA Premier League, and soon after that he departed to take up the position at the SKNFA.
Yeah. So now, technical director. What is the role of a technical director? I mean, people hear the term and they wonder, well, what does a technical director do?
That's an excellent question, Andrew, because the technical director, a lot of people oftentimes get it confused, and confuse the technical director position with your head coach position, and they're two different things. And a lot of time they're confused, and the names are used interchangeably, but they're not the same thing. Your head coach, or I think in Europe, in the EPL, they say the team manager.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, that is the the head coach is your head coach of your team. So that is the person that is responsible for the day-to-day coaching and preparing of your team. In the case of the senior team, it will be preparing the senior men's team. The technical director is a whole different ballgame, because the technical director is the person that is responsible for overall football development. So that person is responsible for the development program, or the development, let's say, your strategic development plan, how you plan to develop the game from grassroots level all the way through. So your technical director is responsible for ensuring that there's a grassroots program in place, ensuring that there's a youth program in place, ensuring that your Premier League, that their coaching education is also a fundamental aspect that fall under the technical director position. So ensuring that we have the right coaching education program, and where can we fill those gaps? Looking at also our refereeing development program, because that is also key in terms of, so right. While your coach looks at the specific team that they are coaching, the technical director is responsible for the overall development direction of the SKNFA.
Right, okay. We're going to have Mr. Hazel on the set in a bit, but I also want you to, before we go for our first break, to talk a little bit about what is expected now that Mr. Hazel, is the technical director. What can fans expect? What can football fans expect? If you talk about his wealth of experience, and of course we'll have a chance to talk to him about what he'll bring to the table. But from the SKNFA standpoint, what can you tell the fans that we can expect from Mr. Hazel going forward?
Well, the thing is that the SKNFA, we developed our strategic development plan some years ago. That plan is still very much relevant. From time to time, we would tweak the plan to make adjustments for the current situation. So we believe in our strategic development plan focuses heavily on grassroots development, development of women's football, youth football development, coaching education, club development. All those are the key pillars, of course, and of course infrastructure development through our goal project. So those are still very much relevant in the as we look forward to the next quadrennial, which is up to 2022. And so what we will be looking for is to how can we tweak this development plan? Let us look at the development plan and let us see what is working, what we need to improve, and what we need to change. So as we look forward to the next quadrennial, culminating in 2022, that is our next preparation phase for World Cup. So it's looking at the strategic development plan, and how we can look at what we have been doing, what we have been doing well, how we can improve on them, and those things that we have not been doing so well, how we can improve those.
All right. Well, we're going to, at this point, take a break. When we come back, we'll be on the set, Mr. Hazel himself, the newly appointed technical director of the SKNFA, will talk to us a bit about his plans and, of course, what we can expect from him as a technical director. We'll be right back after these messages.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like your boat when you're at sea and you get away from everything. Your home and the security of your daughter's things. And the car that you've had for too long, but after all these years, you just can't let go. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
Meridian Medical Pharmacy is the best place to get your pharmaceutical products. We make filling prescriptions easy. Our well-stocked pharmacies are ready to serve you. Check us for medical supplies, skin products, supplements, and so much more. Ask about flu vaccines. At Meridian Medical Pharmacy, we are focused on offering a professional, personalized pharmacy experience. Our service is personal, compassionate, and friendly. Located at our state-of-the-art medical facilities at the corner of South Independence Square Street and Adlam Street, downtown Bastyr, St. Kitts. And now we have a new branch on Frigate Bay Road in the Sugars Complex. Call 465-5096 and 465-3306 or email pharmacy@meridianmedcons.com. Visit Meridian Medical Pharmacy today and experience professional customer care and fast prescription fill-in service. Meridian Medical Pharmacy.
When I see the love in the land, boy, it's Christmas again.
It might be too early to say it's Christmas time, but KFC is giving you a chance to win extra cash for this Christmas. $3,500 EC dollars. All you have to do is spend 25 EC dollars or more. Then log on to kfcsurvey.com. Complete the survey. Write the validation code you receive after you finish the survey on the back of your KFC receipt, along with your name and phone number, and return to any KFC cashiers. Simple as that. And listen out for your name in December for that extra cash of $3,500 EC dollars. Celebrate the Christmas holidays with KFC. KFC is finger licking good.
Cause when I see the love in the land, boy, it's Christmas again.
Change the way you watch TV. Introducing EarTV KN, the new way to watch TV. Watch real-time TV, your favorite shows and channels on any smart TV or mobile device from any location. Starting as low as $75 per month, get up to 3 devices connected on one account. With EarTV, you can watch movies on demand. Over 4,000 titles to choose from, with 3-day trials available. Works on Amazon Fire TV devices, Android phone tablets, and Apple iPhone and iPad. Includes over 500 channels in HD and 4K. Simple to use plug-in and play technology, and pay as you go month to month. No long-term commitments, no cancellation fee, and get professional support. Call us to subscribe to EarTV KN at 869-661-2478 or check us out on Facebook. Make your television experience greater by getting EarTV KN now. Incredible, impressive, and affordable. EarTV KN.
Welcome back to SKN Football Weekly. I'm Andre Huey. This is a special edition. We are speaking with a representative from the St. Kitts Nevis Football Association, Mr. Stanley Jacobs. Just before the break, he announced that the SKNFA has appointed a new technical director in Mr. Jeffrey Pedro Hazen. And we have him on the set. Pedro, welcome to SKN Football Weekly. Pleasure to have you.
Sure, Andre. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. It's long overdue.
Long overdue indeed.
I'm happy to be here this evening.
All right. Now, first of all, let me congratulate you on the appointment, one,
Sure.
and also being the SKNFA Premier League Coach of the Year at the Crystal Awards, just concluded
Thank you.
Crystal Awards. How do you make the transition? What's the difference in your job as a coach and your job as a technical director?
Vast differences. One is that as a coach, you are there doing training sessions every single day, working to develop a small number of players, basically at your club, in your team. As a technical director, you're responsible for the entire development of football in the federation. So it's now moving from a club to dealing with football as a whole in the country.
Right, and all 8 different age groups. And
All the
categories.
different age groups.
Right. And so when you, of course, I'll talk a little bit about your coaching. Coaching Village, your title after so many years. I'm sure you probably felt torn in a bit because you guided them to the title. You wanted to stay back to see if they could repeat. I know this opportunity came up.
Well, I'm happy for the opportunity because when you are into football, then this is what you really work towards. It's a passion, and once you're able to work in all spheres of the game, then somebody was a bit heartbreaking to leave. But at the end of the day, the bigger picture is St. Kitts and Nevis, so I had to take the opportunity to do this for the country.
Right. Now, from your observation, being around football and being in football, you've also coached. You had coaching stints as well on the national level. What do you think are some of the pressing issues that you are hoping that with the mandate that's been given to you by the SKNFA you can address?
Well, the former technical director working with the FA would have laid a foundation. So what we are going to do now in my tenure is to build upon that foundation that has been set our focus most again is on youth development, youth football development. So we'll be pushing a lot of that. Still our coaching education, we still have some way to go. We have to catch up with what's happening in the rest of the world, of course. So we'll be doing a lot of work in that area. We still want to do some work in futsal and beach soccer. We have to look at the technology of football, technology that is used in football, how to analyze games using technology, doing technical study groups. We also looking at the entire development from the grassroots level right up to the world stage. Our aim basically is to develop that age group, the grassroots, and hope that we can get some more professional players on the professional circuit or into universities. So it's a long journey, but it's a journey that we know would bear many fruits for us.
All right. What's your first order of business?
Well, we've been working on the calendar of events for next year. We've also been putting the age group teams together for qualification matches next year, the U17s, males and females. We have the U15 females, we have the under 20 females, we have the Olympic teams, males and females next year. So it's a packed year next year for us, so we've started that work already in preparation for that.
Right. Two quick things before we go. One has to do with you as an individual. You have been around football for a long time, apparently. Just tell our fans and our viewers, and especially those who probably don't know a lot about you, where you got your start, how you got to the stage now. I mean, from Premier League champion to now technical director of the national team.
Oh, where it started. Well, in my community, Old Road, there was a league, a community league. Of course, we participated in it, playing here and there, and then getting the opportunity to do one or two coaching with my club team there. So I've done that. Then I taught at Washington Archibald High School. We introduced the football club there several years ago. I was able to receive a stint. The first coaching stint I had was in Trinidad on a futsal course. The then president of the SKNFM, Peter Jenkins, he gave that opportunity to us to attend. And from there we never looked back. We've worked along with the U15 national teams, U17s. Basically at all levels males and females I've worked at. And at the school level, Washington Archibald High, you would have seen the successes, because many people still speak about what Washi would have done then. And you would have seen the successes there. We would have won practically all of the school championships. The idea behind Washi playing in the SKNFA leagues was because we were not comfortable at the time with what the school was just achieving, playing in the school's competition. So we wanted to give them another avenue to excel. And so we played we joined the SKNFA league, winning the second division championship. We got to the first division finals, and we got promoted to the Premier Division. So lucky we spent 4 years there. The first year we came sixth, second year fourth, third year we were into the finals. We lost to St. Paul's, and the rest is history.
That's a major accomplishment to get a young team like that into the finals. And also, when we talk, I mean, you hinted earlier to other forms of football that we haven't seemed to be playing. Futsal. Do we actually play futsal here in St. Kitts?
Well, on a small scale. We support the schools in their projects. All of the schools basically that have that, we support them. We haven't touched most of the clubs unless it's a support we give to the Caribbeans, the Guinness Street football, which is a bit similar in some instances to.
But it's more like outdoors.
Yes, to futsal. But we've had a representative team from St. Kitts and Nevis participating in the CONCACAF Futsal Championships. It's about 5 years ago. And that was the first time we've participated. And we did remarkably well then. We played teams like Mexico. Mexico defeated us 3-2. We played against Cuba.
It was close.
Yes, we played against Costa Rica. So it's an avenue. Some players might not feel like they can make it the national team or get somewhere playing with the 11 side. So futsal and beach soccer other avenues that our players can venture in as well.
Right, and beach soccer is also something that's developing.
Yes, we would have had courses before, and we would have worked mostly with the schools to do some beach soccer clinics and workshops. And so we want to add a little bit more to it. We're going to go back into the schools firstly, and then we're going to go into the clubs. We're looking at the timetabling right now so that we can get all of that on stream. I don't know if this is something that I should say right now, but we are also thinking at the SKNFA to introduce the SKNFA Pre-Season League. It's organizing football, giving the clubs an opportunity to play in an organized setting prior to the league opening. Getting the referees involved, getting everybody involved in preparation for. And you see how big that has grown in the US and European market, the International Champions Cup. Maybe we may not get to that level, but it is our football, and once we get that organized, then I think our football would even continue to grow from strength to strength.
Yeah. Lastly, before we let you go, and this is away from the national setting now, I know you are no longer the coach of Rangeley Superstars, but I see you in the park watching their games. So I want to pick your brain a little bit. Are you liking what you're seeing, even though you're not there anymore?
From the clubs, well, I have to look at all of the clubs.
You have to look at all the clubs.
All of the clubs. Right. I'm happy with what Village is doing because they've continued to. There's some areas that they definitely have to work on. I'm happy with the work that Mantab and Old Road are doing. It's two newly promoted clubs. On the weekend, Mantab just lost out to Newtown 1-0 in the 90th minute or thereabout, and Old Road and Connery played to a 1-1 draw. Surprisingly for me, based on what we would have seen last year, especially in the latter part, Monkey Hill hasn't really caught themselves. We're seeing Spurs again not really doing too well, but over the last 2 or 3 matches they would have had back-to-back victories or thereabout.
Right.
So the league is catching up. If you look at the points table right now, it's very, very close, especially for the top 4 or 5 teams. So it's competitive, and I think at the end of the season we'll have an even more competitive, some more competitive matches going into the Easter Cup and the Premier Division Final Four.
Because that was the thing I was actually looking at, is how close the points are. So is it the case that the so-called smaller teams are getting better, or the bigger teams are losing steam?
You see, we've done the coaching education over just prior to the league, and that would have helped as well, because the new information, coaches are now going back and making sure that their players are doing what they would have learned, and so it helps. So we're seeing the fruits really with the coaching education. Mantab, the coach there, Van Patrick, and he's assisted by Elvis Pepper, who is a veteran. So they're using that. We had Kevin Welch in Old Road, Al Richards in Sadler's. So these are young coaches rivaling with the seasoned coaches of Deco and Marius. Yellowman, we also seeing St. Paul's, IY, Jefford, taking over and leading that ship down there. So, like I said, because of the coaching education, because of us getting that new information, it is really working. We are seeing some fruits right now, and we hope to build on it.
All right. Pedro, congratulations again.
Sure.
And we hope we will talk some more on the show as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a privilege.
Jeffrey Pedro Hazel, the new technical director of the SKNFA. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll talk a bit more with Mr. Stanley Jacobs about the Crystal Awards and other matters pertaining to football. We'll be right back.
Creole Restaurant and Bar at the Sugars Complex specializes in authentic local and Caribbean cuisine. Visit us every day for our fine dishes, excellent juices, and great customer service. Why cook on Fridays? Try our Friday buffet lunch menu of spice, rub ribs, stewed chicken, wings with seasoned rice, crepes, organic mixed salad, sweet potato pie, steamed vegetables, and so much more. Get a complimentary drink with a buffet only at $45 EC, or try our lunch special every day. There is something sumptuous in store. Creole Restaurant and Bar, located upstairs Sugars Complex. Call 465-2473 or 662-2473. Creole Restaurant and Bar, the perfect getaway.
The National Bank Premier League in St. Kitts is back, and Voice of the Caribbean Radio is bringing live coverage with the SKNFA Match of the Week. Every Saturday evening at 8 p.m., Voice of the Caribbean Radio will be broadcasting the Premier League Match of the Week at www.voiceofthecaribbean.net or sknfa.com.
Shot taken, and in the back of the net!
We'll bring you the action through live commentary and analysis with pre-game, halftime, and post-game shows, live and direct from the Warner Park Football Stadium. That's the SKNFA Match of the Week on Voice of the Caribbean Radio in partnership with the St. Kitts Nevis Football Association, bringing live radio coverage every Saturday at 8 p.m. from now till the end of the season, only on voiceofthecaribbean.net or sknfa.com. Live football action from St. Kitts every Saturday on Voice of the Caribbean Radio, your Caribbean sports leader.
I am floored. That is a scorcher of a goal. That's the best.
The Cable, we provide much more than just the fastest and most reliable internet service. We fill the homes of all our customers with joy and laughter. Our services connect friends and keep families together. With the most extensive fiber optic network, we ensure that you can enjoy the things you love with the people you love. Whether it's catching up with family or old friends, or simply just enjoying your favorite TV shows, people choose the Cable because quality shows.
Ricardo's Home Center and Hardware is your first and best choice in hardware supplies. Visit Ricardo's for paint supplies, screws and nails, windows and doors, building supplies, plumbing supplies, tools, cabinetry, lavatory and accessories, tile, cement and grout, water heaters, lumber and plywood, and much more. At Ricardo's, our services are second to none in the Federation. We offer paint mixing, screen repair, screen installation, window repair, security screen door repair, and commercial doors and locks repair. We also offer delivery service. So come by at Ricardo's in Needsmith Estate, St. Kitts. Call 465-9229, 466-1824, 662-3451. Email rhcenter.h@gmail.com. For the best in supplies and service, visit Ricardo's Home Center and Hardware.
Hey Jane, guess what? Remember how hard I've been searching for new speakers for your computer? Well, I've found them today.
Really? Where from?
At Smart Electronics that opened recently in Port Zante, opposite the food court. At Smart Electronics, you can find just about everything electronic. Phones, laptops, TVs, computer speakers, you name it. If it's electronic, you can find it at Smart Electronics.
But what about the prices?
Smart Electronics offers great rates, so you really don't need to go to St. Martin anymore. Head straight to Smart Electronics, Port Zante instead. They have everything electronic for you and you and you. That's Smart Electronics opposite Food Court at Port Zante. Telephone 466-4271.
Welcome back to SKN Football Weeklies. Doing it differently this week. We are talking the administrative side of football. We've spoken to Mr. Hazel, the new technical director of the SKNFA. We have Mr. Jacobs with us again, and I want to talk to him quickly about some other matters pertaining to football. The Crystal Awards just ended, and it is an overwhelming success. Everybody's been talking about it. The first annual one, you had Dwight York coming in.
Yes.
You know, that's a huge thing, and of course having the president of CONCACAF is also a huge thing. The SKNFA, what was the idea behind the Crystal Awards, and do you think the first one achieved that?
Yeah, well, definitely. The whole objective of the Crystal Awards is to recognize the outstanding achievements and performance of the local footballers. I think for a very long time, we have been contemplating an event such as this. It's important that at the end of the season that we recognize the footballers that have had outstanding performances. What we didn't have was the know-how, the expertise, how to go about doing it, because it's quite a large undertaking. The resources to do it. But this year, the SKNFA Executive Committee took the bold decision to approve the Crystal Awards and to approve the event. Of course, we put together a committee that went out. We came up with the name, the Crystal Awards, and we came up with the format. We came up with the format as to everything as to how the award should be run. It is something that is so important when we look across, not just across the globe, but even throughout the region. Jamaica, there's the Sports Excellence Award, and in other countries, there's sports athletes are awarded for their outstanding achievements. Within football, there's the FIFA Ballon d'Or. So it is really important to recognize our outstanding athletes. At the end of the day, they play for the love of the game, they play for their community, and it is important. And so we're quite pleased with the outcome of the very first one. For us, it was a tremendous success. But what we believe that we have established an event that we can build on and we can improve on for the future. Because nothing is ever perfect. Of course, we had our challenges, but what we intend to do is to reflect on the very first one and see how we can improve on it for the future.
Right. Now, shifting our attentions quickly, the SKNFA is introducing the Super Six for this playoffs. Explain to us, there are 10 teams in the Premier League, and so 6 will have a chance now to compete in the playoffs. Why the change? Was the Final Four not working? I mean, it was implemented for several years now, and people seem to have been enjoying it.
I think the whole objective with the Super Six is to introduce more teams into the final round of competition, and that is nothing strange. Within FIFA have increased the number of teams now in the World Cup. So more teams are now have the opportunity to go to the World Cup. CONCACAF have also expanded their Gold Cup. So it's about bringing more teams in. More teams bring greater opportunity for players and brings more competition. So at the end of the day, it's to create a more exciting competition. When we look at the Premier League over the years, we have had at least the top 1 through 6 and maybe through 8 has been very close competition. So it tells you that the margin between number 1 and number 6 is not very fair, and that you can get good competition from the top 6 teams.
And maybe one of the so-called smaller teams.
But exactly.
Get in the playoffs.
And it provides, like I said, once you open the competition to more teams, it provides an opportunity for more teams to be a part of that. So it's going to be a little longer competition with more matches to be played, but we believe at the end of the day, it will be produce growth, because when we play international competitions, we're playing within a very similar format. We're playing within a short window, and we have to. It's very competitive. So the Super Six, the short competition, the Final Four and Super Six, really do a tremendous job in terms of mentally preparing our players for those type of competition.
Right. We had this conversation on another platform recently, where I was speaking with a gentleman who said that he used to play in the Premier League, and he stopped playing because he felt that the FA was making a lot of money and the players who were playing were not making anything. And the Final Four, he talked about the Final Four, that a lot of fans come to the Final Four, and yet the players who play get nothing in terms of financial rewards.
Yeah, well,
so
it's always going to be. I mean, at the end of the day, who doesn't want to see the players be paid? But I keep saying to persons that look at different models around the world. Look at different leagues. It's not the league. It's not the FA that pays the players. Most in other countries, there's a separation between your professional league and then the FA. So in England, the EPL, which is the English Premier League or the Barclays Premier League, is not the same thing as the English FA. It's two different. It's two totally different entities. Likewise, in the United States, there's U.S. Soccer, which is the Football Association for the United States. And then there is MLS. MLS is a private entity that runs the professional league. So it's not the same thing. It's not one and the same thing. The players, the relationship is between the player and their club.
The clubs.
So that is where the relationship starts. The relationship is between the player and the club. The SNFA has a competition, and they open the competition and invite the clubs to participate. The revenue that generated by the SNFA is just to cover the operational costs of the league, and it falls far short of covering that operational cost. So a lot of times persons don't understand that persons seem to think that revenue exists in a vacuum. Revenue exists, but there's also the related expenses. So while you look at the gate receipts, the related expenses associated with operating the league, and those involve field maintenance. Right now, we have just recently brought on someone to maintain the Warner Park turf. So persons come out to the Warner Park and they compliment and they say the field is looking really good. But that's because we have hired someone to take care of the field.
Right.
That comes at a tremendous cost to us. Then there's the game day operation, which involve security. Security is one of our biggest expense, because at the end of the day, we have to have an environment where people and families feel safe to come. Families and persons must feel safe coming into Warner Park to watch a football game. So we spend a lot of money on the security aspect, ensuring that persons are checked, and as they come through the gate, ensuring that we have security personnel at various aspects of the stadium. This is important for us for security, but it's also important for us that we are meeting our security protocol for FIFA. So the security aspect comes at a huge cost. The referees, the paying the staff that are on site to operate the game, ticket sellers, gate attendants. So when you add it all up, there is a cost to operate, to run the league, and most of the way, because we're a small population, and so persons don't understand that as well. And I made the reference that a large population, they can pack 60,000 persons in a stadium and charge $1. They will make $60,000. If we want to make $60,000, our stadium, on a weekend, we only have 200-300 persons in the stadium. So you could imagine, you can do the maths and see how much we will need to charge to get $60,000. So I mean, it is not a level playing field. We're a small association, and so what we rely on the gate receipts to operate the league, and that, of course, is falling short. And so where we fall short, then we have to take other funds from our grant funding to help to support the league. It is never going to make enough money from a league to pay every player. That's not how it works. And if you do the maths, it would not make sense. It just would not make sense.
It depends on how much you pay the players.
It just depends on how much you will pay the players, because on a given weekend, if we have 200 people in the pack and we're picking up $10, I don't know how much players you're going to pay because you're going to pay out of $2,000. So I mean, it's a reality. We're a small association, we're a small population, and so we just don't. It will not be feasible. Of course, it will be ideal that that what could emerge is some sort of system where the clubs become more empowered. So the clubs begin to own more resources through sponsorship and different benefactors, so that they can in turn offer their players some kind of financial reward for playing with them. That is how you get to the professional level, not the association paying the players, but the clubs to become empowered so that they through sponsorship, bringing persons on board who can assist the club financially, and then out of those finances, then you can offer a financial reward to the players. And that is how it goes. And then what you will find will evolve over time is that the clubs that have the more financial resources will attract the better players, because that is how
that's
how it all
done.
revolves.
Even in the professional league.
That is how it is in the professional leagues. The clubs that have the most resources will, of course, attract the better players because you pay to play. You will be able to pay them. But it's a long way to go, because at the end of the day, we're a small country, we're a small association, and it is going to take a long way before we can get to that stage where clubs become sufficiently developed, where they can become entities that they're able to offer financial reward.
Right. Lastly, before we let you go, the FA would have, as you spoke about earlier, this show, for example, one of the initiatives that the FA has taken on in partnership with SK Newsline to bring a different flavor, so to speak, to football fans. One of the things that we've done as well as an entity is working along with the FA in the creation of live commentary, at least one match a week, which is the SK FA Match of the Week, on Saturdays at 8 o'clock on our sister radio station, Voice of the Caribbean, online, which is also available on the SKNFA's website as well. Talk about this partnership as well, and what the value it adds to football in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah, well, what it does, it widens our scope, and so that now persons that cannot be physically present at the Warner Park Stadium, whether they're at home in St. Kitts and Nevis or they're abroad, a lot of persons living in the diaspora are still very much connected to their community. They still want to know what is going on with their football team, and that allows them to listen to the games. And so that has been a tremendous initiative for us, that persons can still tune in at least for the game of the week. We're hoping that in the future we can expand and be able to have our own platform where we can show all of the SKNFA Premier League matches, and that will be something that will be, I think, that we can aim for maybe in the long term.
Right. Well, Mr. Jacobs, I want to thank you so much for being on the show this week, and like you said, it won't be the last.
Definitely. My schedule is always very, very busy, but I will definitely make the time to come back and to update the football loving public, to update persons as to what is going on within the SKNFA. There's a lot going on. The ball never stopped rolling, and it's for us to get the information out. 2019 is going to be a very hectic year, as technical director Mr. Hazel just explained, with Olympic qualifiers. Our final round of Nations League match, which we'll be playing in Suriname, is a match that is very important. It's a must-win match for us if we are to make it into the Gold Cup. We're gonna also looking at the U17s competition, and so it's going to be. And
of course, if we get into Gold Cup, you have the Gold Cup.
And if we get into Gold Cup, then that is a whole different ball game that we have to look forward to. So 2019 is going to be a very active year, and I would say should be a very exciting year for football in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Definitely. Well, certainly we'll have you on back to talk about the Gold Cup, or rather the latter stage of the Nations League, which is going to be in March, and then also the implications of that depending on the results. Again, thank you so much for being on the show. To our viewers, don't go away. We have one more treat for you. We're going to review the matches of the week last week. We have the reports for you. We'll present that to you, and we'll also show you the tables as we head into this weekend's National Bank Premier League. We'll be right back. For all your printing needs at top-notch quality, go to Digital Print Plus, located on Princess Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts. At Digital Print Plus, you get the best in business cards, letterheads, envelopes, wristbands, tent cards, rack cards, flyers, brochures, logo designs, posters, photos, architectural designs, 3D renderings, and so much more. Digital Print Plus gives you the best quality at competitive prices. Contact us at 767-7468 or email digitalprintskn@gmail.com or follow us on Facebook at digitalprintskn. Digital Print Plus for all your printing needs at the best quality.
Why read the news when you can watch it? Introducing SKN Newsline, the Federation's only online TV news platform. SKN Newsline is an online TV news platform covering news in St. Kitts and Nevis. We provide a daily and accurate news on the big stories and stories of interest that other media outlets have ignored. You can watch SKN Newsline on our website, www.sknnewsline.com, or Facebook page at www.fb.com/SKN Newsline, and also subscribe to our SKN Newsline YouTube channel. SKN Newsline, your world, your news.
Uptown Pizza and Cafe in Charlestown, Nevis offers the widest variety in sumptuous lunches found anywhere on the island. Come for a delicious pizza of any topping: pepperoni, veggie, margarita, chicken and pineapple, and more. Try the special dishes: wings at various flavors, sweet Thai chili, spicy barbecue, and more. Uptown Pizza and Cafe also offers the best in burgers: Fiesta Burger, Barbecue Cheddar Burger, and much more. Come to Uptown Pizza and Cafe, located at Cedar Trees, Charlestown, opposite the park. Call 663-0525 or 469-3052. Also visit them on Facebook. Search Uptown Pizza. Uptown Pizza and Cafe. Local cuisine, international flavor. Welcome back to SKN Football Weekly. We're in the final segment of the show. This is a different show this week. We've had mostly interviews, giving us update on the state of football in St. Kitts and Nevis. But of course, we can't end the show without at least reviewing the matches that were played last week. And so here we go with these two reports that I filed on behalf of the SKNFA on the matches played in last weekend's SKNFA National Bank Premier League. The winning ways of SL Horses St. Paul's seem to be waning as they lost their second consecutive match on Saturday in the National Bank Premier League. Spurs defeated St. Paul's 2-1. Ali Clark scored for St. Paul's in the 44th minute, but not before Valman Jeffers and Raquel Allen sealed the win for Spurs in the 31st and 80th minutes, respectively. It was sweet victory for Austin Tico Huggins, coach of Spurs, who up until last season was coach of St. Paul's for several years, winning 2 league championships with them in the process.
How does it feel to get a win at your old stomping ground?
Feel real good. The guys, we trained hard this week, and we had full confidence that we were going to win this game today. They came out, they played very well in terms of ball possession. We were totally in charge, and we managed to score some goals, and thank God we were victorious this afternoon, this evening rather.
Now, Spurs have been getting some good results now. You've got 2 good results back to back. So obviously now you seem to be finding momentum. How do you build on this going forward?
Well, we start off the season without some of our better players, if I must say that. But they're now coming back from injury, and we are able now to have them train and be a part of the team. Tonight we start with 2 of those guys who were out, and that made us a little more stronger. So we're now able to compete and look forward for better things.
Vice captain of St. Paul's, Jamal Jeffers, said it's time his team start winning again.
Unity, we have to stick together. We have to, go on a giant board, see what was done tonight, try to capture every mistake and try to patch it up.
In the other match, Flo Fujikian Rockets edged Fast Gas Saddlers 1-0. Shaquille Pringle scored for Keon in the 46th minute. The defending champions are at the top of the table, and they made sure on Sunday they stayed there. Ramsville Superstars took a stroll in the park, the Warner Park to be exact, with a resounding 4-0 win over the struggling Elko Limited St. Peter's in National Bank Premier League action. Kimari Rogers had a man-of-the-match performance with 2 goals in the 20th and 27th minutes, as well as Joseph Wilkes also scoring 2 goals on the other side of the break in the 55th and 59th minutes. Coach Stephen Clark of Village said they wanted to ensure the international break would not slow them down.
Congrats to the team, congrats to St. Peter's. There was a real formidable opponent. But coming off the international break, we really wanted to step it back up, because the habit we have coming off for 2 weeks, we always start slow. And the fellas went out there, put in the work, and did accomplish what we wanted to accomplish. Well, there's goals we have set, and we still got to reach the goals. We ain't reached there yet. So that's the motivation that we know we can fall asleep, we can drop shot. Because we already set the goals to reach.
Coach Azim Jenkins of St. Peter's said that his team did not capitalize on their chances and stressed they must get all 3 points from their next match against Mantab.
I think the passing was poor in a lot of areas, being patient. it wasn't there. And just capitalizing on chances, we're getting the dangerous areas, we didn't capitalize there. So the quality needs to improve.
Now, you would have had some players back in the squad. How are you going to integrate them now going forward and trying to get them playing in unison?
Well, we have a system of play, and the guys coming in basically, they were there last season. So this season, because they had a bad start in terms of missing some of the games, just getting them fine-tuned. We'll take a week, extra week or two, but we'll get there. Just gotta be patient.
Your next match against Mantab, how confident are you can get something from this game?
How confident? I need 3 points. So anything less is not acceptable. So we're going for it.
And speaking of Mantab, they were edged 1-0 by the flying Esgrave Newtown United, also on Sunday. But Newtown had to wait long and hard for that winning goal that came in the dying moments of the game, literally the 3rd minute of stoppage time from Javon Brooks. In the day's other match, Saul Island Auto Supply's Connery FC drew 1-1 with United Old Road Jets, scoring for Old Road, Kwani Williams, a penalty kick in the 30th minute, and Kadeen Lewis for Connery equalized in the 49th minute. The match is coming up tonight. Esgrave Newtown United playing Fastcast Saddlers at 6 p.m. And then our 8 o'clock game, Rangeley Superstars versus SL Horsford St. Paul's. That match is coming live on Voice of the Caribbean Radio. Then on Sunday, tomorrow, Elko Limited St. Peters will be playing Mantab at 3 p.m. Then at 5 p.m, Hobson Enterprises Garden Hotspurs take on United Old Road Jets. And the final match on Sunday evening, tomorrow evening, Saul Island Auto Supplies Connery playing Flow 4GK on Rockets. That promises to be a cracker. And as we close off this week's edition of SKN Football Weekly, we present you the tables so far as we head into week 9 of the SKNFA National Bank Premier League. I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching SKN Football Weekly. Do have a great footballing weekend.